Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. We are talking about the new nor'easter. Just gonna drop a few inches of snow in most areas. The area that I think the highest probability of seeing major snow totals is eastern Maine, as this storm is gonna kind of have like a rebirth and kind of gonna like spin around here in the northern Atlantic and the Gulf of Maine before it heads out to sea. Right now, we do have winter weather advisories in place in, we have West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. Now, I think that we could see a few winter storm warnings from this, especially in parts of Pennsylvania where there is a slight icing risk. Then in areas that you could see more snowfall, such as interior Connecticut and Massachusetts, as well as, of course, eastern Maine. Now, if this storm does get named, I will be either doing a separate video or I will be renaming this video to Winter Storm Catherine. And you will know by the title card above and the thumbnail. Now, let's get right on into some winter weather probabilistic outlooks. So this is your chances of getting an inch of snow in 24-hour increments. So this is right now. You can see the greatest chances are about 70% in areas of southeast Michigan, northwestern Ohio, and northeastern Indiana, as well as in parts of New York and Pennsylvania. If we move 6 hours later, you can see the highest chances 90% in Pennsylvania and New York. I think that Pennsylvania and New York, that is the area where you could see, 2 to maybe 6 inches. You're definitely probably going to get at least an inch out of this. In most of these spots here, I think that the National Weather Service is kind of underestimating the storm a little bit, and we'll get to the models in a second. They kind of confirm that. Now, if we go 6 hours later, you can see 95% in parts of New York, but overall, this red area in parts of Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, and Pennsylvania. Now, if we go into 6 hours later, you can see that whole area kind of increases. And then we start to see this shift, right, where the snow kind of tones down a little bit, and now we're going to start focusing on Maine as this storm kind of pivots a little bit. Now we'll start to see these chances increase. You can see right there. Now these don't get to the level of 80, 90, 95%, but we do get a considerable amount of 70%, as well as 60% in down east Maine. So let's take a look at some models, because the models have been taking different perspectives on this. So let's take a deep dive into those model runs. So we have here the NAM 12-kilometer model. You can see low pressure down here in Georgia, South Carolina area, some snow in parts of Missouri and Illinois. Now we move on here. You can see minimal snowfall, but then you start to see some ice as well. Then the snow kind of moves into the northeast. Now we're going to go, we're right about there. 18 hours in. We're going to zoom in on the northeast here. And we're going to kind of take a deeper look into this storm system. So 18 hours in, right, you can see some isolated snow showers around. Then we start to see this thing organize a little bit. Now, the NAM is taking a very inland route for most of the snowfall. You can see the heavier snowfall in parts of Pennsylvania, central New York, really kind of leaving out the coastlines. Now, other models don't have that, as well as this model also has most of the snowfall kind of disconnected from the low, and I think that that's a little bit off. Right, it has most of the snowfall happening right in here, then it doesn't even have down east Maine getting impact. And very little, right? And that's different from some of these other models. Now, in terms of the NAM has been usually accurate. I think that it's a little bit off here. It has the highest snow totals in New York and Pennsylvania. Has areas such as Boston, New York, Philadelphia, DC getting nothing. Now, for Philadelphia and DC, you're definitely not going to get anything out of this. New York and Boston, you could see a little bit. It completely takes Connecticut, Rhode Island, and parts of Massachusetts out of the equation, as well as it really limits how much snow down East Maine gets, 6 inches max. I think that's a little bit low. Now, in terms of the GFS, you can see that we have very little actual model runs to go through, because this is a long-range model. But you can see that it has a lot more snow in parts of New England, and then it really kind of has this storm really impacting Maine. So you can see that. Let's go to the total snowfall here, and let's go to 84 hours. You can see here at 84 hours, it really doesn't. Let's actually zoom in on the northeast again, just to give you the best angle to view this from. So at 84 hours here, you can see up to 10 inches of snow in Maine. That's because the storm is going to do a loop-de-loop out here and then head off. It also kind of gives Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts a little bit more snow. Not as much as I think is going to happen. I kind of combined a lot of these model runs together and kind of maybe brought this thing up a little bit. I think that it's going to overperform. I think a lot of people are underestimating it, because it's not an unpowerful system. It's not weak by standards of millibars. I think it's just where that snow sets up. Now the European model, let's zoom in again on the Northeast. So the Northeast, you're gonna see here that on the European model you have a lot more snow down by the coast. Now, along the coast, such as New York and Boston, it's showing more sleet. Now, with the European model, it has this mix, usually kind of as a buffer zone, kind of playing it safe a little bit. That could be snow, that could be rain, and I kind of incorporate that into my forecast as well. Then it has Boston getting some snow, as well as down East Maine getting plenty of snow as well. Then that moves out, and we can see here that this has snow depth, so remember that there is some snow on the ground here right now, but you can see that there's a significant increase here in terms of snowfall in some of these areas. So, you know, it has kind of the target zone here being Boston and down East Maine. So, let's take a look at my predictions and see how I tied all these different models together. So these are my predictions for this storm. Alright, so just to go over all of this, let's start off with the snow. So I have this light blue area here that covers most of the Great Lakes region that's going to get snow from this, the very northern part of the Northeast, very northwest part, as well as right along the coastline. Now this includes areas such as Cape Cod, areas of Rhode Island, southern Connecticut, Long Island, and New York City. Now, there is a chance that these areas along the coast here do get some rain. Now, overall, I think you guys will see less than 3 inches of overall snowfall. Now, if we move into this dark blue area, which covers most of Pennsylvania, most of New York, northern Connecticut, northwest Rhode Island, most of Massachusetts, most of Vermont, most of New Hampshire, and about half of Maine, as well as parts of the mountains, that is 3 to 6 inches of snow. I think that even though the NAM shows most of this area right in here getting less than 3 inches, I think that 3 to 6 is probably a safe bet there. It could be overstepping a little bit, but I think that the bands are just going to set up right over here, because this low pressure is going to be moving right out here, that the snow is probably going to, there's going to be enough cold air and enough moisture to give 3 to 6 inches of snow right in here. Then you have purple. This is where I think the GFS is right, where you're going to see 6 to 12 inches of snow in areas of down East Maine. The eastern half of Maine will probably see the most snow out of this, as well as some areas in the mountains where, you know, you're gonna keep that cold air in place while getting that moisture. So that's why I have this bulge down here with some snow. That's just the mountains. Now, we will have the possibility of getting some ice out of this. This red outline is your area with possible icing risk. It's not going to be a great risk, but there is a possibility of getting some ice here. Now, in terms of rain, this is from, I believe, the GFS as well. You have the area in green that's less than a half an inch, and then you have this area of yellow, which is a half an inch plus. So, now just to kind of tell you what models I got these from. The interior northeast and the interior parts of Maine, I got that from the NAM. The mountain snow I got from the European model, as well as this area as well. And then parts of down east Maine, as well as southern New England, I got from the GFS. So that is my predictions. Comment in the comment section down below. Do you agree with my predictions, or do you think, I think that one of the models was right instead? Let's have a conversation down in the comment section down below, see who gets this right. But that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.